Hi guys, Chris here and welcome back to another TWS earbud review here. Now these ones are actually called AirPods. That's the name of them. They were sent out to me free of charge, by the way. Just a little disclaimer that all the opinions expressed in this video are 100% my own here, just like all my videos. They do retail for £29, so they are quite cheap. And they've got your typical kind of stats here, so it's Bluetooth 5, they have a built-in microphone, so we've got Google Assistant Siri support, and they also have a runtime of about 3 to 4 hours, the earbuds themselves, but they do have an additional 5 charges from the case. So in this review, I'm going to go over the build, design, what we get in the box, how they sound, the comfort of them, and anything else I can think of, including, of course, my typical pros and cons. So the earbuds come in this simple black box here, and all we get for accessories, because these do not have ear tips, is just the cable here, which is a lightning to USB cable. Now for charging the case and the earbuds, all you use is a phone charger. So 5 volts, 2 amps, will take approximately an hour and a half to fully charge the case. So our earbuds here, they come in this very compact case. It's only 33 grams. It has a magnet inside here to hold the lid closed. And the plastics themselves, good finish to them. There you can see we've got that lightning port at the bottom. And here we have a button on the front. So pressing this, there's a little status LED in here. So that's green to tell us that the case has charge. And when you're charging it as well, that will be on and the light goes out once it's fully charged. As mentioned, it's about an hour and a half to charge them. So to show you the earbud design themselves. So pulling these out, if they've already been paired up with a device, they pair up pretty much instantly. It only takes a few seconds. So the bottom of them right here, so the tips, you could say, there is a microphone with these, but that is where our connectors are. So we've got positive and negative right there. So when you insert them into the case, that is how they charge. And there's no ear tips with these whatsoever. So people that don't like ear tips, they bother you, then these ones are a little bit lighter here, and you don't tend to get so much, say, sweat buildup or heat buildup from the rubber tips for people that never have a good seal, because this style at least of earbuds doesn't rely on the seal. They're clearly labeled, both of them, left and right, and very easy to insert. So the earbuds, they are very light. They're only 5 grams each, and we have a microphone right here. You can see that little dot, and we've got the 3 outlets here for the driver that's inside this. So there's one on the end, there's one right here on that side, and then right up the top here, as you can see. Now they can be used in mono mode, so you can use just one of them for voice calls if you wanted to, and you will gain some additional battery runtime as well, just using one with voice calls, I found. And that brings me on to, of course, how do these sound? So they're retailing for £29, and they're not super high-end TWS earbuds. I want to also point out too that the range of these is very good, that I can go from the other side of the studio, no breakups, no problems there. And I don't seem to have any disconnects so far using these for a few days. So the sound profile out of the box, I'm using a flat equalizer just to judge how they sound, and they haven't really boosted the bass right up like others have. And because of the style of, well, earbuds that these are, that they don't have that sealed tip, so they tend to be a little bit less bass wise. And I've noticed that, okay, we've got some bass there, decent mid, some treble too, but if you push the volume up really high and also boost the bass, you will definitely run into a little bit of distortion, which is kind of to be expected for the price of these. And overall, I think for what they're selling for, that they do sound good. Now, like other TWS earbuds, and because they do have the built-in microphone, they support Siri, so you just need to tap and then hold. That will then bring up Google's Assistant, or Siri, as you can see, just popped up on my Huawei P30 Pro. And the other thing is the touch controls, I do find to be a little bit hit and miss. For example, I want to skip to the next track, and this is with all TWS earbuds I have reviewed, by the way. It doesn't always work 100%, that when you double tap, and it just sometimes doesn't register, so you have to repeat and do that. Personally, I prefer to have hardware buttons instead of the touch-only controls. Okay, so moving on to the comfort of these, that these are super comfortable, that you can just wear them for hours and hours and on end, and I've had no problems with them whatsoever. Because they don't have the rubber tips on them, people that have issues with the rubber tips, you know, you can never find the right size. You've got to swap between the small, the medium, or the large, or you go for foam tips. It does create quite a bit of a seal there, but sometimes that seal can be a little bit annoying and build up heat that you don't really get with these. So putting them in my ears, very simple. As soon as they're out of the charging case, of course, they pair up straight away. And I've also noticed too that they haven't fallen out. Okay, so you can move your head around, you can jump. I don't know about running long term. You could easily just knock them and they could come out and you can lose them. But for me so far, they've been excellent in that regard there, that they're super comfortable and they have not fallen out and no disconnects from them either so far. So in terms of sound quality, what we're getting out of these, there is no real passive noise cancellation from these whatsoever because they don't have the foam tips or the rubber tips in them. So it's not sealing and creating that seal there with your ear. You don't really get that, but that's also what makes them a little bit more comfortable. So if you need a lot of passive sound isolation, then with these, you're not really going to get them. Now the microphone quality isn't amazing, but it's still working good. I've found with Google Assistant, it's picking up pretty much all of what I'm saying, and Google Assistant always had a little bit of trouble with my funny New Zealand accent anyway, so it's doing okay there. Now we're getting decent amount of bass. There's a little bit of bass just out of the box the way they are, the profile they have them configured. There's a little bit there. I've just noticed that if you do boost up the lows and then you use quite a high volume, by the way, the volume output from these is quite good, it's quite loud, but if you use say 70, 80% is when it really happens. 80 onwards, I've noticed there is a little bit of distortion there, which is, I guess, kind of to be expected. I mean, these aren't super expensive, these earbuds that we have here. So the other thing too is the battery life. So you're getting around 3 to 4 hours, which is quite common, but it's not going to be leading the pack there in terms of battery life. No, but we do get the additional 5 charges out of the case, which is good. And in this case, by the way, I do really like the size of it. I like the fact that it's got the nice little magnetic spring-loaded lid on there, and I haven't had it open up, and it's very easy to travel with. It's just so small and tiny. That's the good thing about these. So for the price they're selling for, I feel you're getting decent sound quality, the battery life as well. The thing that I'm not really too happy about, and this is my complaint, it seems to be with any that have the touch controls, is that it is very hit and miss. So a lot of the times you go there to double tap and you try and get over to the next track, or you tap to pause and start again, it's not always being picked up. So hopefully earbuds, they can improve upon that and just increase the sensitivity a little bit there, or in the next model, hopefully they add an actual hardware click-in button, which I prefer for skipping to the next track or previous track, or just push and hold that, of course, to use Siri. So these are the earbuds there. Thank you so much for watching this review. Hope to see you back in the channel with hopefully more audio reviews. See you then, and bye for now.